So in this segment, we're going to be discussing the Tommy Robinson rally, along with the rally, the hate protest, really, despite him being arrested. So we're going to be discussing that and some of the geezers who were there because Politics Joe did some great work and actually went down there.
You may remember Tommy Robinson was detained by officers at the Channel Tunnel in Folkestone under Section 7 of the Terrorism Act. Now, Section 7 of the Terrorism Act gives officers powers to stop and question people entering and leaving the UK. And crucially, in this case, it gives them powers to demand the password or PIN for electronic devices. Now, Tommy Robinson didn't do this and he was scheduled to appear in court over it. But on the eve...
I'm amazed they didn't arrest him there and then, to be honest. I imagine if it was any kind of minority person coming from abroad, they would have been detained.
Of his scheduled court appearance, he travelled abroad where he's remained for some time. Now, he's arrived back in the UK and he's been charged over this matter and he's been granted bail over that particular allegation, and he'll appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on the 13th of November.
You would think, though, as a person, they normally say to people, if you've got nothing to hide, then, you got nothing to worry about. So, I don't know why he wouldn't give over his PIN.
Over it. But separately, Kent Police has also said that the 41-year-old has been arrested at the direction of the High Court, and he'll appear at Woolwich Crown Court on Monday in connection with separate contempt of court allegations. Now, it was alleged that Tommy Robinson breached an injunction not to repeat lies about a Syrian refugee, which had been previously ruled by a judge to be defamatory. Now, he could face jail time over this allegation. He's currently being held.
I mean, he probably will, because he was told to stop repeating the lies he made, because he lost that court case and he continues to do so. So I'm not going to say he should receive jail time over it, but he's making a mockery of the courts if he doesn't face kind of repercussions over the fact that he was told to stop defaming the Syrian refugee, and he kept doing it despite the court order.
In remand, which means he'll miss a protest today in central London organised by him. He's calling it Uniting the Kingdom. It's about grievances about the Prime Minister.
He's not really uniting the kingdom, is he? He's kind of dividing the kingdom more than anything.
Direction of the country, and about people who were imprisoned because of the summer riots. Now, he's been clear that despite him not being there today, he wants the protest to go ahead in his absence. Some suggestions it may turn into somewhat of a free Tommy Robinson rally. We know that counter-protesters...
Again, I think this is what he wants. Just the more publicity he gets, he loves it. He loves it.
Station to be there as well. But the Met Police, Matthew, has said they're preparing for increased police presence today, keeping the different groups of protesters apart. They say is paramount to their operation.
Which makes sense. And again, they've fenced off the cenotaph because of the protesters, because they keep jumping on it and just causing problems. One of the guys who's not going to be there is a neo-Nazi who's been convicted of attempting to murder an asylum seeker at a hotel in Worcester in April. Callum Parslow launched his terror attack while on bail for targeting a black woman with racist and S messages online. His victim survived. So this is a geezer who probably would have been at the Tommy Robinson rally or hate protest, and he's not going to be there. So one less goon to worry about. And this video from Politics Joe, where they actually go out and they talk to some of the people there, and we get to hear their brilliant, genius ideas.
Too late, but got to bring it back from the brink of Islamic takeover.
People, especially a lot of right-wing people, they're treated differently than sort of left-wing protesters. People who aren't even committing crimes in the riots are getting arrested.
Because you're involved in the riot by being there. You are obstructing police from stopping the riots. The moment you see riots, you kind of should really get out of there. So, you are involved. I don't know if it would be under joint enterprise, but you are involved.
I feel like I'm losing my freedom of speech. I can say something that's just opinion and it might be accused, for instance, of being Islamophobic.
But you never had the right to be Islamophobic. So, you never had the freedom of speech to say that. The only difference is you're more likely to be called on it. This is probably top 10 worst tattoos.
That's something. You
don't see one of them every day.
Tommy Robinson is missing his own party. Thousands are in central London for one of his Unite the Country rallies. Tommy can't make it. He's been remanded in custody after being charged under the Terrorism Act. He's also due in court in a couple of days for repeating libelous claims against a Syrian refugee. These rallies attract a diverse crowd, not demographically, but belief-wise. There's everyone from vaccine skeptics to radical football hooligans, and I want to meet them.
Yeah, because this is what the right wing are like. You know, people who don't believe in science, and people who just want fights.
It's a sick t-shirt.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got better than that.
Well,
Print's not the best. I'll be real, bro.
what have you got? What were the other options?
I shouldn't really be showing you all this.
Yeah, you're desperate to show someone. See the tattoo geezer. Okay.
Man.
We've already seen that.
Persecuted, I'm beginning to feel like I'm losing my freedom of speech. There's
So
things
victim mentality.
I can't say. I can say something that's just opinion, and it might be accused, for instance, of being Islamophobic.
Maybe because it is Islamophobic. Have you ever thought of that?
Absolutely. Go on, son.
How are we doing, guys?
Yeah,
You're doing
good.
good.
Doing well, man.
Absolutely, of course
okay?
there is.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, doing really well.
What are you doing? You're doing an interview?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That. I love that.
Yeah, but you listen, I've got to do it again.
Love ya.
It's got another one as well. I wonder what the other one's about.
Oh, that's beautiful. That. I love that.
Yeah, but you listen, I've got to do it again.
Sorry, guys, you have to see this. What is this? Is that a Templar or something like that?
Love ya.
I wonder why you didn't want to show that one.
That is a cracker.
Well, it gets people talking.
Absolutely.
Just come to support Tommy Robinson and his gang of people to try and restore this country.
What do you need to restore this country?
Well, in my opinion, it's probably a little bit too late, but got to bring it back from the brink of Islamic takeover, whatever you want to call it, whoever takes over.
Do you think if there was an Islamic takeover, do you think you'd be able to do these kind of random protests?
It's just getting insane in this country.
What makes you say that? What makes you say we're on the brink of an Islamic takeover?
Watch the news. No. Wrong. Don't watch mainstream news.
I'm
So
concerned
who should we watch? Who's covering this takeover?
about, say, two-tier policing, so one rule for one set of people and one rule for another. I'm concerned.
We do have two-tier policing in this country. It's if you're a black or ethnic minority person, typically you're more likely to be questioned by the police. So you're not wrong. You got the wrong groups. You got them mixed up a bit.
About things like the media, who label Tommy Robinson as far right and racist.
He is. He also is racist.
And I
Yep.
don't think he is. And I don't know the man, but I've listened to what he's said.
I also have listened to what he said, and I would draw the conclusion he's racist. Yes.
And I've never heard him incite violence. I've only heard him ask for peace. I've never heard him say anything racist.
I've heard him say stop the boats, get them out of them hotels, etc. So I don't know. I was like, he's trying to incite something there.
Got lots of friends from overseas of different skin colours. And
Does he? Does he though? Are we using the black friends defence or the brown friends defence?
so that kind of that bias and that propaganda, I find that really scary. Not scary because I trust in Jesus actually.
These rallies used to
I
sometimes
don't think Jesus would be on your side, G. I'll be honest.
attract only a few hundred people. But since Tommy Robinson's reinstatement to Twitter, he's managed to attract thousands and thousands to his events. The people here are really suspicious of the media. One guy told me that Al-Qaeda were even in attendance.
Yeah, clearly Al Qaeda is in attendance. Okay, buddy.
He actually meant Al Jazeera.
Sorry, that's hilarious. That's so funny. You confuse the terrorist organisation with the news organisation. That's amazing.
We're supporting Tommy Robinson and doing a peaceful march.
It was peaceful.
Totally peaceful. We just wanted to be a presence and to show our support.
Obviously, he organised this march, but he's been remanded in custody.
Yeah.
What do you think people here are missing without Tommy being here?
Nothing, because it's not about Tommy Robinson, although he seems to be a figurehead for this movement.
Yeah.
It's about the grassroots. Every single one is the same as Tommy Robinson there. Everyone is aligned in the views that British people need to put British people first, and the British government rather needs to put British people first.
Okay,
And
who do you define as British?
say British, I don't care, race, creed, religion. Someone who identifies with British values.
I'm
What's British values?
concerned that there might be an infiltration of values that I don't think are good because of other religions. I don't think are good.
Just say Muslims. That's what you want to say.
Which religions?
I think Islam
There you go.
is potentially a huge problem. I love Muslims. Don't you know?
I don't think you do. I'll be honest.
I absolutely love Muslims, so I hope you don't cut that out. Got a lot of
Well, I hope you don't cut that out. Clay does not trust the guy she's talking to.
really, really good people, but I find the religion itself is... I find there's a lot of things in there that if people knew about, they wouldn't defend it in the way that a lot of people seem to do.
I'm a Reform UK supporter, and I think what's happened
Jesus is Lord. I don't know if that's grammatically correct.
today is people are sort of very divided amongst the right, and I feel it's very important for right-wing people to be more united. We need to unite for a common cause, and that's for the flag.
What's the flag represent? What's that supposed to mean? So vague.
Talk me through those divisions.
Well, I've heard a lot of speakers up there today, sort of, and they're not too happy with Reform UK, and that's obviously the party I support, and they're encouraging a lot of people to vote for UKIP, but I feel that UKIP haven't realistically got a chance. I feel like they're a bit...
With the Reform UK stuff, I think I saw Phil Morehouse cover when he was talking about how during the riots Farage tried to distance himself, and I think that's... He says... I think he said something on the lines of that's what seems to have caused the split between the Tommy Robinson gang and the Farage lot, the Reform UK lot, which, I'd agree with that analysis. That makes a lot of sense.
Two right wings, and if they're trying to get more centre-right people, especially like myself, away from the
centre-right? I don't think you're centre-right if you're at this rally, pal.
The Tories, which I was previously a member of, and I think Reform is they've got the best chance of forming a government in the next election after Labour.
What do you make of Tommy Robinson?
Yeah, I think he's a good man. He stands for a good cause. I think the problem is he's just a bit too divisive and a bit too extreme. And it's a great shame, because I feel that if he sort of aligned himself more in the centre, he could properly...
How would he align himself more in the centre? What are you talking about? He could be anti-Muslim, but more kind of pro, maybe anti-austerity as well. I don't know.
Unite the right, which I'm sure is what his actual objective is, and it's not to cause division amongst right-wing people, but I want to see a united right.
The mainstream media...
That last guy might have been the most reasonable guy who'd be at this rally.
In my opinion, just a complete utter waste of time. They're just liars, cheats, keep the truth from us, everything. What's Tommy Robinson done for the country? Damn sight more than this idiot that's in Parliament now.
So, I don't know. I think Starmer's got him beat in this area.
Persecuted for telling the truth. Mm-hmm. For calling out the truth.
Mm-hmm. What truth?
The uncomfortable truth that they don't want you to hear. They don't want the public to hear and know about.
How did you get involved in this movement?
I didn't say I'm involved in it.
How did you get interested in this movement, would you say?
I'm from Northern Ireland. We get involved in things.
How did you get...
What does that even mean?
Get involved in this movement, would you say?
By reading a lot of mainstream news and seeing that wasn't representative of what I'm seeing in my hometown, in many a hometown, Blackburn, Luton. These towns are now, the city centres are the derelict. They're derelict and they're overrun with people who don't represent our values.
Again, what are your values for a start? And also, they're derelict. Do you think Tommy Robinson's gonna get you a shop for free or something? How is he gonna repopulate these shops? What's the idea of the right to kind of rebuild town centres?
Happy about two-tier policing. I'm unhappy about the sort of move away from capitalism and encouraging businesses to grow and employ people. Yeah.
What do you mean by two-tier policing?
I feel that people, especially a lot of right-wing people, they're treated differently than sort of left-wing protesters. I mean, we've seen the way people who aren't even committing crimes in the riots are getting arrested. Obviously,
because you were involved in the riot. That's why. By being there, you are involved in the riot.
What happened with people setting fire to hotels, that's obviously out of order. I do not condone that in any way, shape or form. But I do think people are unfortunately treated differently by the police just because of their political views.
Is it fair to say those people are political prisoners?
Yep, some people like...
Wild framing.
Yeah.
If I saw things wrong that were happening around me and I did nothing, that complacency is more sinful, I would say, than trying to do something about it. So our God has an anger, but it's not a... There's a difference between anger and temper. So I wouldn't lose my temper, but the anger... So if you see injustice, you should feel angry. If you see somebody being abused, you should feel angry. So if you see deceit, you should feel angry, and I'm angry.
I haven't got the Jackie Chan confused meme on the soundboard, but I'm very confused by what she's saying right here.
Angry at the deceit, and I'm angry that I feel fairly powerless to do anything about it. I'm frustrated probably that I feel powerless to do much about it, apart from come to something like this.
What decisions are the government making that you object to?
They don't seem to be British, to be putting British people first. They seem to be putting everybody else apart from the British person, and particularly the British working class, who they're meant to represent being the Labour Party. And don't get me wrong, the Conservatives are no better. Everyone's at the back of the queue. They're allowing masses of illegal immigrants. Now, nothing against people coming here, migrating through the correct channels. That's brilliant. It's great for the economy. It's great for the national health. But illegal immigration is killing this country.
It's really not killing this country. It doesn't cost a lot. And the thing is, like, until they get the civil servants and the people involved to actually, process all of the claims, there's not much they can do. If they open safe points of entry between France and here, it wouldn't be as bad. If they open a processing centre in France, that would be another correct thing to do. But the argument of illegal immigration is killing this country is no. What is killing this country is, it's 14 or arguably more years of just bad economic policy.
Old age pensioners now are getting £300 a month, £300 a year taken away from the winter fuel allowance, and it's going to be carnage. I've got a personal friend who is petrified now of winter coming on because of this £300 makes a huge difference to him. And meanwhile, we're putting thousands of illegal, and I stress illegal, immigrants in hotels and paying for them.
Again, they're not illegal immigrants, they're asylum seekers who, if the government actually had put the money up, especially the Tory government, they wouldn't be spending this much money on hotels. The problem is they let these numbers build up in order to create a huge political issue.
And the taxpayer, you, I, my wife and everybody else who works for a living, is being screwed by the government. And not just this government, previous one as well. So no, I think there needs to be change in this country, and this is the only way we can do it legally.
As Tommy Robinson rallies go, this was a relatively dull affair. People even started to clear off when Robinson's new film started airing. But
it's crazy. You think that these guys would stay around to watch it, but I guess maybe they know it's just full of lies.
Low energy or not, thousands did feel compelled to come and show their support for the far right in the UK.
Who the hell's Peter?
These people are radical anyway, but just coming to this event can radicalise them even further. They might arrive a vaccine
what they're looking for is just more people who have the same dumb views to kind of normalise it for themselves. Because if you're told, that you're an idiot for having these stupid views, right? At some point you might internalise that these views are probably wrong. But if you meet other people with the same views as you, you're no longer just a village idiot. You found someone who also has your views and therefore validates the bad views that you have.
Skeptic and leave fully versed in the Great Replacement theory. Some people I spoke to had pretty common concerns about this country, like the state of their high street, but these concerns are mutated when combined with a diet of far-right news. If there are any echo chambers in politics, it's here. They tell each other that the media, politicians, the liberal elite are all against them. And if you disagree with them, then you're part of the problem too.
It's a cult at the end of the day. C-U-L-T, in case YouTube are listening. That's what this stuff is. It's a cult. And so what they want is to tell you need to be in the club. Don't trust anyone but us. As O'Brien keeps quoting Orwell when he says, the last terrifying order of the party was to not believe your eyes and ears. That's what they want. They want people who are loyal to them and will just keep donating them money and to keep their gravy train going, keep the grift going. Some of this lot are the biggest clowns. They're not just clowns, they're the entire circus, especially this lady here. Do I have hope for any of them? Maybe the guy in the red t-shirt who kept obsessing over British values, and the guy in the English shirt in blue. They seem like the least bad of this bad lot that were interviewed. But again, it's pretty scary out there, to be honest with you. But yeah, I got not much else to say on this apart from don't really bother going to these rallies. These are places where they'll try and radicalize other people. Like you have some of the most ambitious anime crossover where you've got right wing, essentially anti-vaxxers mixing with people who just want their high street, to be good. And so, they push these other ideals onto you. And then next thing you know, people can argue, they're going to get rid of cash to kill the high street. And that's why you shouldn't get the COVID vaccine. And you're just like, what? What are you talking about? But these places are crazy, honestly. You will not catch me anywhere near London or any one of these places where these events are happening. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there because I'm rambling. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Big up Politics Joe for covering this and, going to these random events. and just talking to people, because honestly, if people said some of this stuff to me, I'd not be able to keep a straight face. So yeah, subscribe to their channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.